And then right under our chat, ARP or above. I don't care what you call it. And then after that, we can.
Man, I don't want to.
I'm just messing with you. I figure you wouldn't.
Hi, everybody.
Hoping we're in here now.
Yeah.
Good
Exactly.
morning, good day, good afternoon. Whenever you're watching this, we're glad to have you. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Give everybody time to come in. Glad you're here. We're bringing some good information to you today. It's not going to be as long as we would normally do a webinar. We want to give you good, quick information, get you in, get you out, get you back to serving your patients.
We know this is the busy time of the year for you guys, and
Absolutely.
we're identifying with that, and we have some things to talk about. But we're excited for it because it's good content, and we always give you the replay and the resources. So.
Absolutely. So hang with us for just one more minute, and then we'll get rolling. And we'll just stand up here and talk while we're doing it. Michael, how you doing, buddy? You good?
Good. I was telling Hannah earlier that according to my Planet Fitness app, I did my 25th check-in today.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So
nice.
25th workout.
You know what? My little what's it called? The app. I don't have an app. It's just my little key card.
Oh yeah.
To go to the Pelham Rec Center. But all right, cool. Well, listen, let's get rolling. I don't want to bore y'all with our workouts because it doesn't look like I'm working out. Michael's slimming down. I'm staying thick, and here we are. So,
hope you're laughing already. Let's have a good time.
I hope so. Well, listen, we're glad you're here. What we're talking about today is the summer slump to a seasonal surge, and what that really means is simply during the summer, it falls apart. We know it falls apart. We see the data. We have to get real creative with our marketing. What happens going into this season is you get really busy, and that's a good thing. And we want you to be busy, but you have to change up your marketing style a little bit to make sure that one, you don't waste your budget on things that you don't need to waste your budget on because it's going to be coming to you anyway. And then we want to make sure that you structure things in such a way that's going to give you the best return on investment while serving your team. So that's going to be part of our conversation today. And I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of us reading on a screen. This isn't a very sexy webinar from the standpoint of visuals, except for this beautiful one right here.
I take the offense.
Yeah, well, this particular one is looking really good. Real quick, I'm Nick. This is Michael. We're both in Birmingham, Alabama, and we own Patient Care Marketing Pros. We also host Walk-In Welcome. Walk-ins Welcome. I am Nick the marketer originally, as the agency was stated. Married, 3 kids, been in the game now, specifically in the urgent care space for going on 6 years. Proud of that. Been in the digital marketing space for 7 years. There we are.
Yeah. So I do the VP of operations side of things. So I help run the business, but then I have a huge website background. Been in the website world since 2011. It's like forever now. But yeah. So and then we saw where the urgent care space had a need, and they were being kind to us, and then we returned the favor, and here we are a couple of years later, serving all sorts of urgent cares across the nation, from Hawaii to New York. And then we have the #1 urgent care podcast too. So,
thank you for listening.
There you go. Thank you guys for listening. Actually, we were looking at stats yesterday. You guys definitely listen, and you definitely go to YouTube, which is fantastic.
Before I go to the next slide, I do want to make a quick mention that we have some things coming up. Some great podcasts that are coming up. I'm going to be on an Xperity webinar.
Yeah.
We're going to be at Naruka, or at least a couple of our team members are headed up to Naruka. Michael and I are both going to be speaking at Saruka coming up, I believe, in November. So really, please, we want you to come visit us. We want to high five you, knuckle bump, all of that. So if you see us out and about at all these events, come say hi to us.
Absolutely.
So let's keep this on the rails, shall we? Yeah. Some housekeeping items. One of the things that we want to do is give you great value. Part of the thing that you can do to help us is to reduce some distraction. So if you want to close out your email or go into focus mode or whatever you need to do, we promise to give you our very best. And we just ask that if you have something, you take some notes. Take it and put it into practice. The biggest thing you can ever give to us is just to take what we give you and go put it into practice at your clinic. Absolutely. That's what we want. If you stay for the full 60 minutes, we're going to give you value, and we're not going to sell you anything. So that's our promise.
As a side note, talk about having a notepad device or device ready. We actually recently, as a company, switched over to a device-free team meeting, and
it's kind of a game changer.
It is like no distractions, all focus. We get better questions and better interaction. Anyway, this is a side note. If you ever considered the idea of having a device-free meeting with your team, do it. it just works.
Yep.
Yeah, we
I
love it.
love it. We constantly share these kind of ideas when it comes to us.
Yep.
We should do a whole podcast on distraction free. So, here's what you're going to walk away with. We're going to give you a seasonal campaign, I think all the way up through March. Oh, yep, September through March. Strategy to capture demand and boost patient volume. We're going to give you some paid ads, tactics, and strategies. We want you to get a positive return on your ad spend. We're going to help you build authority and engagement through using tools. And we're going to talk a little bit about AI and streamlining your campaigns. There will be a link for resources provided at the end,
Yep.
and of course, emailed out as always. All of this is designed for this strategy here. We want to help you get more patients. We want to help you deliver better care. We want you to get repeat visits, and we want you to scale your clinics. We care so much about it that we put it on our walls. All right.
Yeah.
Michael, you're up,
But
homie.
I'm going to pass it over here. So let's actually talk about some of the strategic side of the planning of all this. So you guys are in a very hectic season. And if it's not hectic for you, then we need to chat later about that. But it should be pretty hectic. You should see increased patient volume. You should start seeing these type of things coming through. But let's just kind of put a bow around it, right? So why is this happening? Respiratory season is at its peak. You have holiday stress coming up, and then you have some clinic adjustments that are happening as well. When we get closer to the new year, you have insurance changes happening. So there's some things that go in there, or people are like, hey, I want to be healthy again. I know you were making the joke, wait till January when you see the gym where
That's
everybody
right.
just shows up.
Oh, yeah. Especially at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, because like right now there's like 8 people when I'm in there.
Mhm.
There's nobody. And then after the new year, we're running into allergy season and stuff like that. So we recognize we've seen it for years now. From now until March, you guys stay very busy. Actually this past year, you had a delayed flu season, which
That's
was
right.
interesting because they were like, "Where's all our patients?" And then 2 weeks later, there they are. It just took a little time for a flu to show up, and we don't know why. It just did. But so we recognize that, right? So we fully recognize why this is a busy season. And here's the thing: it's busy, but don't just float through it. Don't just say, "Well, they're coming anyway. I don't need to do anything different. Just float." Like, don't do that because the best companies out there don't do that. They don't just turn off everything and just wait for people to show up. It just doesn't work that way. I know you want to. So here's my analogy for that. I was kind of thinking through, like, I know you understand the importance of, hey, if we have patients coming in, we should get more patients. But here's my analogy. So imagine a fisherman. I don't fish, so I apologize for anything I'm about to say.
That's some like Jesus level.
Yeah, yeah. That's a biblical fisherman.
That's right.
Anyway, I thought that was funny. So you have a fisherman, right? And they have off seasons and peak seasons, right? So they have where there's a ton of fish and there's not a ton of fish, or they're in an area that has a lot of fish versus not. So when they cast that net during off season, they pull out the fish, not that many fish in that net, right? But when it gets to peak season, it's time to do all the fishing. Do they cast a smaller net knowing that there are more fish down there ready to be caught? No, they don't cast a smaller net. They cast that big net again, and they're going to fill the net up. So that's the same concept here. You shouldn't just say to yourself, well, there's tons of fish, tons of patients out there. I don't need to double down on this and I think they're just going to show up. No, in the fisherman world, they're doing all that they can. They're bringing in more people knowing that more fish are coming, and they're doing all that they can to capture that. And that's what I wanted to kind of represent to you guys is like, don't just sit back. Like, this is the time to shine. Like, you want to double down on these things, and we're going to give you some strategy that goes with that, because when it comes to fishing, you got to find the right spots, right? And so we want to tell you, like, these are the spots you want to go after during this time of the year. So anyway, that was my quick analogy on that.
2 seconds on this. You can
Yeah.
go ahead and skip the slide, but I want to just mention you were talking about not pulling back, right?
Mhm.
This is a great opportunity for you to get in front of your clinic staff and let them know this is a season, and seasons change, right? We're going to be remembering how busy we were when it slows down in the summer. So it's just a season, and you need to let your staff know that, because they don't always understand why we're so busy, or why am I working 12 times harder than I was over the summer. Setting the expectations going into this type of a season, I think, is crucial to morale. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. And so here's just like a basic look. We'll go into more details later in this presentation, but just like a basic thing. September is you're back to school already. There's some physicals maybe going, maybe some flu shots. In October, you got flu starting to pick up a little bit. We joke, but it's real Halloween injuries.
It's a thing.
It's a true thing. People act real stupid sometimes. RSV, stuff like that. Then you start rolling in the holiday. Thanksgiving becomes a thing. There's a lot of travel going on. There's a lot of families getting together. starts to pick up a little bit. And then you go into full blown December holiday season where you not just have family things, but you have work parties are happening, just lots of gathering. And then we know when people gather, germs spread, and then sickness becomes a thing.
Especially with children.
And then, yeah, and then alcohol becomes a thing, so you act stupid and you hurt yourself.
Watch out for those DUIs.
Yeah,
Be safe.
exactly. Then when we hit January, what happens in January? So you have some deductible resets. So you have a different type of person coming in, and then you have that wellness visit. Hey, it's a new year, it's a new me. And then we start to see flu start picking back up, and then strep and then allergies, and boom, here comes the full spring with allergies, fever, and all that stuff that goes with it, and sports injuries coming in. Now you're getting ready. All of a sudden, here comes summer, the slowdown. So we see that you guys have an on-off switch when it comes to the seasonal stuff, where you have go, go, go. Summer hits, and it's like stop, stop, stop almost.
That's right.
So you have to hit it while it's hot, and so that's where we're focusing on this type stuff. All right. So we love asking questions throughout our webinar. We love the interaction. You should be seeing it pop up right now on your screen. But which month is typically your clinic's busiest month? And we recognize it could change every single year, but if you were going to take a guess, which one do you think it was?
I'm going to go with February, January, February.
I think, in my opinion, what we've seen, January, February is the time.
Well, it seems to me like when we get to we're past all of the holiday shenanigans, and we've slowed down a little bit, we've calmed down a little bit, and then our bodies go into a rest mode, which means our immunity goes into a rest mode too.
Exactly, exactly. All right, so January, January, December, absolutely. Yep. So we agree. I think this year, we felt a little bit of February,
right?
But yeah, January, December, it's a hot time for sure.
That's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks for sharing that. That's good for our information as well.
All right, we're gonna move on to your side.
So let's talk about paid ad strategy a little bit. I don't think there's any secret that everybody on here, if you're not already, you should be running Google ads. I believe that Google is the lifeblood of any clinic. I really do believe that. Yep. I know that we've had people on our podcasts and webinars in the past. They're very into grassroots, but even our grassroots folks, as much fun as they're having, they will tell you it always goes back to Google Ads. That is going to drive your volume. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we go from a broad ads focus to a results-based kind of like a rifle approach. Now, this sounds counterintuitive to what you were talking about, casting your net bigger, but I'm going to speak to it in just a little different way. When we start talking about specific targeting gives a higher relevance, what we're talking about is making sure that your ads are focused on the people that you want to attract to your clinic. The worst thing that you can tell yourself is that we serve everybody. That's the worst thing that you can tell you, because if you speak to everybody, you're speaking to no one. And Google loves it when you speak to everybody.
And it starts making suggestions for people you don't want to speak to.
It'll tell you all kinds of, we were, I want to quit. Here we go. The little sound, right?
No.
Story time with Nick and Michael. We've recently had a clinic that wanted to get in and play with their own ads account.
Or had the Google ads expert reach out to them and they said yes.
Yeah, right. And they started running what's called PMAX. And I'm not going to get into what that is, but here's what it did. It started talking to everybody. And so an urgent care clinic started talking. Give me some of the categories that they started showing up for.
Yeah, so a lot of it, the worst one to me was termination.
Okay.
The termination clinic, which is kind of awful to think about. But then they were showing up for just random stuff that was like remotely health related, but not really.
Like kids psychiatry.
Yeah, like that's health, but that's not urgent care.
Yeah, I mean, it was taking anything that even resembled healthcare.
That would get a click.
And it would spend their money, and they were unable to serve that. And so when we talk about casting a wider net, yes, that's true. But we're also talking about casting a wider net in the pond you want to fish in.
Exactly.
You know,
in the right areas.
Right. So I want you to pay attention to that. In the summer, you have to broaden. We talk about that all the time. In the winter or going into these fall and winter months, you have to be a little bit more targeted. I like to say it this way because we're talking about timely messages equals higher conversion. What that means to me is saying the right thing at the right time to the right person in the right way. All right. And I'll give you an example of that here in just a minute. But if they're on Google and they're searching for RSV, then you want to make sure that you drive them to the right message. Hey, are you struggling with RSV? We can help you get through that process. We can help you get over that. So like we can give you the message for your clinic to talk specifically to that rather than just saying urgent care clinic near me.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody else is doing, right? Now we're specifically talking to that keyword search of RSV or sexually transmitted disease or upper respiratory, which is probably the same thing. But anyway, um, we want to make sure that we're getting the right message. Now we need to talk to them where they are. Who are we talking to? Are we talking to families with kids? Are we talking to high risk seniors? Are we talking to people like my in-laws go down to the beach
Mhm.
during the winter? They call them snowbirds.
We go down during
So you know
Thanksgiving.
what I'm talking about,
Yep.
right? They're not getting in the water, but
No.
I still need to talk to those people because they don't live there. So are they traveling? Right? Those
Mhm.
kind of situations.
I mean, 2 years because we've been going down to the beach for Thanksgiving for the past 6, 7 years at this point.
Right.
And 2 years ago, we went down, and my daughter got sick. She was 4 at the time. So what did we do? I was like, I'm going to search, pediatric urgent care near me. Boom. Or like it's very specifically about my child. And then there's one 2 miles away.
Right.
And I was like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna get my appointment. Like I knew all the things, right? Like I knew, and I was like, man, I could help them on a couple of these things.
I know, right? You almost want to say, hey,
Because
listen.
then I'm like sitting there in the waiting room, like this isn't bad, And then I'm like, wait, could they make this adjustment? Anyway, I started analyzing the urgent care, and
You can't now. Can't not do it now.
yeah,
Right. And then you want to not only talk to the people that you need to talk to, like, am I talking to a mom who's bringing her kids in with the sniffles or something like that? Then I want to start talking about what kind of offers are we going to make? Do you already offer a free flu shot? I know a lot of the CVS's and Walgreens
yeah.
they may not do it for free, but they'll do it for $20. Are you looking at what the big chains are doing, and are you matching their offers so that you have a shot? If there you go. Here all day. As far as the next line there, it says book by X date, school or wellness visits, right? Going back in after you're out for the holiday, right? Kids will be going back to school. Well, they need to book by X date to get this offer. You can put that into an ad. And then please make sure that you have your holiday hours conveniently located because people are going to want to know if you're open on Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean,
like you need to do that.
and
Go
just
ahead.
putting that out there, this sounds so simple, right? But like making sure you actually post out on your clinic's website physically, update your business profile,
Social media announcements.
announcements,
Yeah.
because it's going to matter that one moment where they're waking up Christmas morning. Oh, the so and so just threw up. Then you go to the doctor. I said, wait, I remember. Yeah, I think they're open. Let me go check. Because if it doesn't show open, they're like, I'm moving on.
Right.
Right. And for those out there that run your Google business profile, you're getting that email that says update your holiday hours. You should probably do that.
That's right. Yep. And I know our team to our client sends out a message just requesting your holiday hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say this. Well, I was having a conversation with Alan with Xperity. Well, it's not Xperity. It's
Urgent care consultant.
Urgent Care Consultants. Thank you. And we were talking about how the first time they come to you, a patient, they're not your patient, they're your opportunity.
Yep.
Right. The second time they come to you, that's when they're now your patient.
Yep.
Why do I bring that up? Well, you may never get that first time if they think you're open and you show up and you're not. I had that happen to me the other day that wasn't medical related.
Yeah.
I showed up and I was so frustrated because I had made decisions. Well, it was around flight planning. So anyway, the grill on the field was supposed to be open.
The grill in the field. That's a great name.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that is a good name.
The grill in the field. Sorry.
Michael Ray.
Whoops.
You know, the entrepreneur in me is the budding entrepreneur. Anyway, we were flying somewhere to go meet a potential client.
Yeah.
And I specifically planned my entire route around stopping at this airport because it was the only one on Google that said it was going to be open when we were there. We get there, they're here when they're here.
Yeah, they were.
And I was like, well, dang it. I was hoping to give you an experience, not you, but you and Grace, an experience. But the point is they've now lost me. We went to another airport completely.
Yeah.
Because
we knew that it would be a hit or miss if we went to that one.
It was inaccurate. So they lost me as a customer.
Yeah.
So, and I spent a lot of money in gas there. All right. Match your campaigns to the season, right? Obviously, we've already talked about the content calendar, but there's flu shot, there's holiday travel, there's we're open for the holidays, New Year, health kicks, winter sick promos, all of these different things. Again, you'll get a download of this. But what I like to do is take the person that we're talking to with the keyword, the content, and then we send it to a dedicated landing page. This is one of our clients, Urgy Clinic. So when we're talking cold and flu, we don't send them directly to their website. We talk to them about what that keyword search was for. Hey, I've got the flu.
Mhm.
Book your urgent care appointment. Then we send it here. They can check in, they can call, but all of the content on this landing page is 100% focused on cold and flu treatment in Bridgewater, Illinois.
Yeah,
Bridgeview, sorry, Bridgeview.
and it helps with the ad experience that Google likes to reward you on, but also gives people confidence. And here's the best part. You can pre-build all of this.
Yes.
You can have this pre-built. Like when we start a new client, we pre-build all these things because we know it's an on-off switch throughout the
Oh,
year.
well, let me go back. This is what we base it off of.
Yeah, I mean, this
Like
is
wisdom
essentially
policy.
like on-off switch
Yeah.
throughout the year for different things, and then we're always communicating with the client, like what you got any offers you want to put out there. But and also, side note, Urgent Clinic has one of the most beautiful urgent cares we've ever seen.
Yeah,
On
it
the
is
inside,
pretty.
you
I
can't
got
see
it.
it here, but it is.
I do recommend you go to their website and just look at it.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great facility. It's a great team. So
Yeah, the good people.
we enjoy working with them a lot. The point is you don't have to do what we do from the standpoint of using a software to build a landing page, but you can when you're using your Google Ads if you're running them yourself. You can use their extensions. I think it's called something different now.
Site links.
Assets,
Site links.
site links is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to run a keyword for cold and flu, you use the site link inside of Google Ads to send them to your cold and flu page and make sure that your cold and flu page has a check-in or a save your spot online or schedule your visit. Make sure that call to action is very sticky. Okay. So let me ask the question, which platform has brought you the most patients this year? I think I know the answer. I swear we got to get some fake Jeopardy music.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I
Load it onto the soundboard.
I know the answer to this. In my opinion, it's going to be Google Ads, or it could be also local SEO.
Or
But
don't know.
yeah,
A lot of
well, if you're not tracking, call us. We'll help you out.
yeah,
right.
don't know is real.
So Google Ads, Facebook and Instagram, local SEO, word of mouth, or you don't know.
And we'll give it just a second longer. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Google Ads.
That did not
Everybody,
shock me at all.
yeah, Google Ads.
Um,
It works. We recognize it works. We love it. We do more than Google Ads, but we fully recognize like if you even look at our packages, we always say start with Google Ads and work your way up because it's going to get you the biggest bang for your buck and get you moving quickly. But you know, it has diminishing returns like every platform does.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. All right, let's keep going, man, because I know you got another topic here. Oh, you switch screens
I
on me.
was
There we go.
clicking. All right. So authority building equals local trust. This will sound like a lot of this. This will sound like, well, yeah, duh. But here's the thing, or common sense. If you don't make a concerted effort toward it, if you don't be intentional about it, you're just going to pass right on by. So let's talk about that real quick. So a couple of things first. So one of the things you can build trust through every single day is through education, showing the value before you even meet the patient, right? It's like us right now. We're creating trust through the education through our webinar. Not saying you go do webinars for people, but the idea is that there's a trust factor. When your trust is high, you're going to make the extra effort to work with them if you can. So same thing with patients. If they already have a trust with you, but they've never actually met you or walked into your clinic before, well, that's awesome. And you can do that through some education. Other things that work out too is through visibility, showing up where the community is actually showing up. And that could be some of your grassroots efforts. I know for some of you, like, I don't have time for grassroots. Well, you have to make time for grassroots, just like anything else in this world. You have to make time for it, be consistent with it, and plan.
A place where I saw an urgent care one time that I thought was great. We're just talking about grassroots. Here in Birmingham, they have the what is that craft thing that they do at the BJCC that has all the Christmas vendors?
Oh, Christmas in July?
Yeah, AFC had a booth set up there one time.
Yeah, they did.
But it was super cool. They had it dressed up nice. It looked good. It was all on brand, but they were in the community where people
They were
loved it.
specifically in the community where moms go.
Yeah.
Not trying to push judgment, but it was a crafting event.
Christmas Village. Thank you.
Christmas Village.
I forgot what it was called.
Christmas Village.
Yeah.
My wife loves Christmas Village.
So does mine.
And so, but
Cost me a fortune.
and I bet if I walked in there, most of them are female. Most of them probably have children. They're
Yeah.
probably children are with them at
Yeah.
that point. But yeah, it makes total sense to go in there. So if you have a big push, you want to do like pediatric stuff, that's a great event to go to.
Right.
And that's the thing, you have to go where the people are. I know it sounds kind of funny, but you do at the end of the day.
That's your grassroots.
It is.
That's right.
And
Especially during the holidays.
Mhm.
You know, there's an Oktoberfest coming up.
Yep.
Does your community have an Oktoberfest? It's going to be riddled with beer, which means people are going to trip and fall and scrape their elbow, and you can be right there to put a
And,
band-aid
and
on.
you can slip in some puns too, right? So anything that's just to have fun because they're going to chuckle, say, "Yeah, you're probably right, I fell," and all this stuff. Anyway, and then the other thing is too, being consistent. That's huge because I mean, not only I could say being consistent from the community side, that's about anything when it comes to marketing or a business in general. If you're not consistent, they're not going to remember you. And we talk about we at a recent webinar, we talked about branding. Well, branding is all about the consistent experience.
Mm.
Same thing here. Are you putting out a consistent message? Are you consistently in front of them? I know it's not cheap. I know it takes time, but over time it makes a difference. And so, but you have to be very consistent. Even ourselves right now, we have a monthly webinar that we give you guys, and there's an expectation that goes with it now. So like we're gonna show up at this time and go do something for you. And
Just a quick shout out to you said
yeah,
that. I want to thank everybody for
yeah,
consistently showing up to our webinars or at least watching the replay. We're 12 out of 12 now
yeah,
for 12 months in a row. So for us, that's kind of a big deal because
it is because we didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Some other things too. So here's some ideas that go behind this. Like I don't know where to start with the education side. Here's some basic ones. Can you give out guides related to flu, cold, or COVID? One of the things that's not on here, but I handed through in there, it's educating the difference between an ER and an emergency. I'm sorry, urgent care and an emergency department, right? What's the difference there? Because that's a big question mark, right? We know, you know that what an ER is really meant for and what an urgent care is really meant for, but there's lots of people just assume ER is the only way to go, and there's a lot of things an urgent care can do. So educating on that, putting out reminders. Here's some Q&A information. Here's some preventative care tips. I know you probably see these things like, well, do people care? Some do. At the end of the day, there are a handful that do. And then if you're going to ask, I'm going to build out some education. How should I structure it? So we talk about the TAYA method, which is the they ask you answer. And we also talk about story brand, where you're answering questions that makes the patient the hero, not the urgent care the hero. We have a whole webinar based on that. Go check it out on that detail, like 45 minutes talking about that. But the they ask you answer side. So what do they care about? Can you answer those questions? And you answer it on your website consistently. You do some printouts of that. Like I shared, like you're going through social posts on that, and you're being consistent with your messaging. And once again, you may not see like great stats that may follow with lots of likes or interactions, but people are seeing things. And then it's just that little bit of conversion, that little bit of trust, and then slowly builds over time.
one of the best ways to do this, by the way. If you don't, okay, but I don't know what topics to talk about. Go do a Google search in your market,
Yeah.
right? Where your address is,
Mhm.
and do a search for urgent care or urgent care services or something like that. Best way to do this is do it through a question.
Yep.
Hey, who can help me get a sunburn taken care of? I know that's kind of random, but if you ask that question or something urgent care related for you, there's a button on Google search called People Also Ask. And that is people in your market that are asking questions that are related to your urgent care
Mhm.
that you can go answer their question. And now you've become a trusted education through that they ask you answer process.
And
So
you
I just
never
thought that
and
was
you
fun.
and you never had the chance if you didn't actually put out there in the first place.
That's right.
Like
So
yeah, it's real. So you have
people also ask. That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it's called.
people also ask.
Yep.
So a couple other things too that matter. Google this sounds like not common sense, right? But on your Google Business profile, are you responding to all the reviews? Are you actually just responding to positive reviews? You're ignoring the negative reviews, all the things. Are you responding to all of them? It sounds dumb. Like, of course we need to do that. But it's amazing how many urgent cares just don't do it. Almost like you're afraid to. Now there's some reasons why behind it, but ultimately you do need to respond to them in some capacity. And because once again, there's a trust factor that goes with that. Same with social media, local events, community newsletters, all these things where people are. So on social media, are you putting out regularly local events? Are you showing up? Are you sponsoring? Sometimes we have one clinic that he likes to do like a popcorn or a cotton candy machine thing, and then he just has a sign. We had a podcast that just went up yesterday with Rachel, where she's like the grassroots queen,
Yeah.
honestly.
Awesome. Yep.
And they talk about the trunk or treats of the world and like having a sponsor. Like even my trunk or treat at my church, they have like a pest control company that sponsors the snow cones.
Which I think is amazing.
Yeah, so like go where the people are.
That's right.
And we also recognize if you need some guidance, go where the moms and the families are because they're making that decision on who's showing up in your clinic most of the time. Sorry, the men don't matter as much in this scenario, but it's just the way it is. And then we talked about the Fall Fest, the sponsors, the school hosting school things. The school is interesting because from a digital standpoint, we can't target schools. Like we can't dump ads into a school system. Like we're not allowed to. And I like that because I don't, my child's already repeating every single Spotify ad that we hear in the morning to a
Both
T.
of them.
Yeah, like it just repeats them and anyway, and it's annoying. So I'm actually a fan that ads don't show up inside of our school system.
That's right.
But and then are you partnering with other businesses that could be a complementary to your site? We a long time ago we talked about the partnering with like a local coffee shop where you're now giving out like a little $5 gift card to that coffee shop for every patient that comes through the door, and maybe they provide that to you, and then you're just kind of cross pollinating a little bit because it all makes it doesn't sound like a lot, but it all adds up.
For sure.
So, all right. And then some other things here, we talked about the seasonal content calendar where you're trying to put out things regularly, not just sporadically. If you can do emails to your patients, those are important too. And then like looking for those partnerships, but then also just at the end of the day, whatever message you're putting out there, it's consistent with the branding side of it and the voice of it. Because if it sounds like a completely different company or looks like a completely different company, even though it's you, people get confused. We already know branding is such a challenge for this industry because they can't discern if it's a red logo. It could be any urgent care out there. Like that's just the reality we play with.
Right.
So you got to be consistent with your messaging and just know that when you see a message out there, I know that's our message. That's the confidence that you want when you're putting out your content. All right. So rolling into that question, how often does your clinic produce local or educational content? What are you putting out there? How often are you doing it?
This could be on Facebook. It could be on YouTube. It could be through a mailer.
Yeah, it could be some sponsorship of some sort that they brought to you by type stuff. We'll give it just a second. I hope nobody hits never, but
We just don't have time.
yeah, we just don't have time. We're too busy. Yeah, we get it. We understand. We're all busy.
All right. Three, two, one.
And
All
go.
right.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Monthly. All right. We got a couple monthlies in
Okay.
there. Good, good, good.
So just taking 2 seconds on that.
Yep.
As you put monthly in there, figure out what it would take. Just imagine this for a second. Instead of doing it once, you just do it 4 times.
Yeah.
That's weekly.
Yeah.
Right. So taking it to the next, I'm not telling you to do it 5 times a day. What I'm saying is, what is the next level for your content distribution or your content frequency? Take it to the next level. It could be going from once a month to twice a month.
Yeah.
Right.
And the best part is you can plan all this ahead of schedule.
Absolutely.
It's not, oh, it's this week. I got to write something. No, you could 3 months ago during your slow summer season, you could have written some of this stuff
and put it all out for the rest of the year. And Hannah's got a great thing for that. So let's talk a little bit about AI and automation for seasonal efficiency. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. I think people have a little bit of AI fatigue, but I do want to mention it because I think that not from telling you what softwares to go use, but to tell you how it can give you back some of your time during peak season. And that's really what I want to focus on. So if you let some of these tools do the heavy lifting for you, it's going to free your staff up to be able to treat more patients. And at the end of the day, I believe that AI and tools and software allow you to have a more human experience in the right areas. That's what we're looking for, right? So using AI and automation to free up your staff. So this would be your audit. A lot of you are already doing this. This is more of a general reminder, but if you're using a Solve or a Clockwise or Urgent IQ or one of these multitude of softwares in your EMR, it's automatically going to have these capabilities. You just need to turn them on to automate appointment reminders as people book in your schedule, to do follow-ups after that appointment, and to recall using like a flip AI that will call that missed appointment and try and get them back in. Well, that's freeing up a staff member to serve that person that's standing right in front of them who feels like garbage, right? It's going to reduce the phone volume when you use a chatbot on your website, when you use a automated AI voice system that's going to answer phone calls to get the remedial questions out of the way, like your hours or your location or directions or whatever. And then it'll transfer those calls to you when it's about a prescription or about a visit or something that's HIPAA compliant that you don't want that chat to be doing, right? It's going to let you stay ahead of seasonal spikes using data to predict demand and prepare schedules. Use AI for that. What can you expect? Literally go to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, one of these kind of standardized tools at this point, and just say, what can I expect out of the season for this area? I'm at this address. Give me a 10-mile radius. and it'll tell you what kind of demand over time you could expect to see and how to prepare for it.
Yep.
And then you can keep the clinic responsive without burning out your team. I think that's the number one thing that we were talking about earlier, Michael, is the
Mm.
seasonality,
Yep.
is preparing your team for the influx of patients and then taking some of the weight off of their shoulder by using some of these tools. Okay. You can maximize your first party data. Here's what I mean by that. You can use your existing patient info to trigger personalized touches. Again, the softwares, the EMRs that you're using, they'll throw in personal, they know all of the things about that patient inside of your EMR and now can utilize AI to give that patient a customized text message. Hey, it's been 3 months since you've been in to see us, come get your flu vaccine.
Mhm.
Well, you're telling that to a person who has in the past had a flu vaccine. Probably don't want to tell somebody who is against flu vaccines to come get a flu vaccine, right? That's
Right.
going to turn them off. Well, AI is going to know that based on the data that they have on that person. And you can segment it based on their care history, based on their age, their family status. All of these different things, again, AI can help you organize that, and it's already built into your EMR. I'm probably going to say that 5 more times. So
I was thinking that like, what are some good messaging? One you would probably never do is like, hey, it's that time of year for that STD test.
although you want to talk about personalized message, hey, how you feeling?
Yeah, exactly. But like,
Any of them sores come back?
but woo.
We
Anyway, so
derailed our
we did.
webinar.
I just wanted to for a second, but like even
Just like you know, you did this.
I did do this. So, but a more traditional example would be like, hey, you had a sport, your child has sports physical this time last year. Is it the time, are they playing another sport? You know, like kind of
Right.
reminding them, oh, yeah, that's where I went to get that physical done. Or they're offering that same deal they did last year, you know, whatever.
Right.
So,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's part of this SMS and email reminders for appointments and vaccines and checkups.
mhm.
You can promote your seasonal offers and your availability through really just using the text messages and the emails. Like it's just top of mind is going to be huge when somebody does a Google search
Yeah.
when they need healthcare because brand still isn't an urgent care thing. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Brand isn't driving your visits at this point, right? They're still going to Google. If they had to go to Google to find you, then your brand didn't stick out enough.
Right.
And that's okay. But what I'm saying, top of mind, is if they got that email or that text message from you a few days ago when they weren't sick, and then they can't remember that, but then they go to Google and they go, "Oh yeah, that's the company that emailed me."
Yeah.
Now
They
you,
had that offer. What was that offer? And they may
yeah.
go find it. Yeah.
But what's happened is you've stayed top of mind when they didn't need you, so that when they did, they pick you out, and that's the important part of the emails and the text messages. All right, let's keep going. Real quick, which automation would help you the most? Would it be a text message reminder? Would it be an email campaign? Would it be a chat bot on your website? Um, D isn't on here, but I'll just throw it out there. Even a voice AI assistant that intercepted phone calls whenever there's three rings or more, just to recapture
Yeah.
some of those missed opportunities. Because here's what we know, Michael. What we're seeing is that 50 to 60, even in some cases up to 70% of phone calls are just going unanswered.
Which is the saddest thing in the
It
world.
makes me sad, right?
Yeah, because when a phone call goes unanswered, that could have been something you paid for through marketing,
Yeah,
or you didn't pay for it, but it just created a bad experience.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love that there's a little bit of gap here this time in some of your answers, and I
Yeah.
thank you for that. Some of you saying a chat bot, some of you saying an SMS reminder. So for the SMS reminder, before we move on and wrap up,
Mhm.
that is most likely built into your EMR. And
Yes.
I don't know who you're using. I can't, but most of them have this built in at this point. And if that's something that you're looking for, just see if it's a part of your EMR and just go activate it.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
100% recommend that. We recognize that a text message will be answered or responded to
98% open rate, dude.
compared to an email that may hit 10 to 20%.
That's right.
Because
Or if you're Hannah, 38.9.
yeah, Hannah
Get
hits that
emails.
40%. But also on the other side thing too that you should know about email campaigns is that you do have to warm up your domain.
Mm.
So it's not like your open rate should increase over time, but you have to warm it up. SMS, not so much. As long as it's a verified A2P number, it'll go through.
You just
People will
lost
see.
everybody on this
Yeah,
webinar,
yeah,
ATP.
yeah, exactly. All right,
All
so
right.
we're on our last section here, but this doesn't matter. So here's the full breakdown of what we're talking about. This is for you to have a path, right? If you haven't thought about this or I need to think about this, Here's some path on the month. So we know September, you got flu shot. Get those ads launched related to the flu. Are you putting out content related to the flu shot facts, the cold versus flu versus COVID? Are you sending out SMS flu shot reminders or any type of SMS reminder that's related in the world of flu versus cold? So that's September. Moving into October, you got some more flu related things. There's some spiking going up. You're running those specific flu and cold ads. Those actually need some a little bit more ad spend because you now have some competitors that may be doing the same thing. And then you put out some content. Here's some fall related illnesses. Here's some flu related stuff. How to recognize what flu looks like, stuff like that. And then maybe you put out a promo. We say flu shot Fridays. We like alliteration around here. So but
Say flu shot Friday.
flu shot Friday. It could be
jab.
yeah, exactly. So it could be whatever makes sense, right? But it's a promo. Maybe it's $0 this or it's $25 that. Something that gives an incentive behind it and it's timely. That's the biggest thing. Next, you're moving in November. We talked about this. Holiday travel. We're actually open for holidays. Make sure you're putting that message out consistently. Putting a message out one time won't do you any good. You got to put out consistently.
Let me just think about it. How many times do you have to tell your kids to clean their room?
Yeah, exactly. Or
It
just
didn't work the first time.
I thought I told you this. Yeah, you told me like 6 months ago. Yeah, don't you remember? No, that's not how this works. You got to be consistent with it, and you got to ramp up the frequency as you're approaching these changes, right? So, like if Thanksgiving is next week, you're probably going to put out a couple of posts the week before and the week of, saying just that quick reminder that we're open for this for these hours. We're here for you. That type stuff.
But Michael, I don't want to annoy my customers and my patients with over communication.
That is the most okay. So fear is false in general, but that is the most common fear we hear. Where I'm afraid. Yeah, be annoying. Hannah says be annoying because one, let's say you have 1,000 people on your social that follow you, and you put out a post. How many likes do you think you got off of that post? Two, three,
Yeah, we
five?
shouldn't do this. We should never put out another post. Only got
Yeah,
two
yeah,
likes.
yeah. So the thing is that 1,000 people didn't see it. They weren't on at the right time or whatever, or they didn't match the algorithm just right. And so you can put it out every single day and they won't see every post. And if they really are annoyed, which is very few and far between, good. They don't need to be part of you, right? Like
That's
just
right.
move on. Because when we run our own ads for stuff, we'll get the death threats and all like you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that. Who cares? Because there's other people that do want to talk to us. Imagine that. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. They're not going to be annoying. As Hannah says, you can be annoying, but nobody's going to think that. And the ones that do, you don't want anyway. So then building out that content in November of urgent care versus ER for the holidays, because that's real. Because when you're in holiday season and something bad happens, your immediate thought is an emergency room visit,
sure.
especially if it's at night. So I definitely want you to kind of educate the site. Hey, we're actually open till 8 o'clock during the holiday season because we recognize the importance of it. Or hey, we do sutures. So when you cut yourself, when you're cutting that turkey, we can fix you up, and you don't have to spend $400 in an ER. You can just come to us. Imagine that. So like educating the side of those things because they don't know.
Just what I expected that.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's real, right? Like
I guess it is.
cut your finger on the turkey that you're
Not
trying
if
to
you
cut.
use an electric shaver like everybody else does.
I don't use one,
Neither do I.
but I'm
I
at the
can't make
beach when I do Thanksgiving, so
That's a good point.
I actually buy pre-cut stuff.
that. I mean, good for you.
Anyway, so but then the SMS side, talking about holiday hours, sick visit, reminder, all the things that you're just communicating accordingly because they're busy too. Whoop, one too far. Now you've entered December. Surge. Are you having closing your clinic certain times of the month because it's Christmas, that's New Year's, all the things? Are you open? Giving that awareness. You're not going to be annoying. Promise. Content side. Where's some winter illness awareness side of things? Like what kind of illnesses should you expect in the winter? This is how to treat this. As we can help you out. It's also charity time, so this is also a really good time for charity stuff.
I don't typically chime in on this, but I want to.
Yeah.
All right. And this is just simply for the ads that are open Christmas, open New Year's. I think if you're going to run an ad campaign like on Google or something like that, start this campaign about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 days before the date and schedule it to stop.
Yeah, the schedule
Schedule
to
to
stop is actually super effective.
That's the problem is when it says open Christmas and it's like January 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Ad schedules are real, but it is true too with any ad campaign ever. You do not get results within the first hour per se or day. Like you may get maybe a couple because the platform's got to figure you out. So it's not going to just load up and be amazing with the second you do it. You got to be a couple of days ahead. It's just the nature of how it works. But I was talking about the charity drive thing. So this is the thing. I'm not a big fan of pushing out. Look how awesome we are. We did all these things for these. Let the charity do that for you. Don't be the look how cool we are that we did charity donations. But also, if you're like a Toys for Tots person, like making sure that's out there and just the encouragement. Hey, we have a Toys for Tots barrel outside. Please come by and donate when you do come in. That type of stuff. Just those nice reminders.
We did something one time recently over the summer,
Yeah.
and I made a donation. That's not the point of it. When we put up a post about it, I felt so gross.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, because you know me, man, we've been doing this for a long time.
Mm.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's not what it's for.
Yeah, and that's not the point, right? Like if you're just doing it just to get publicity, that's not the idea.
Yeah.
Sorry. January, so we're new year, new you. So you got those health reset things. So some things you want to push for that. If you're doing weight loss clinics type stuff, this is a good some ads related to that. Or if you're having some things like hey, you want to do your wellness visits, you can take care of that. How to be healthy for the new year. It's real. So you got to dig into it. And you'll notice this too, like we were talking about the gym stuff earlier. You'll notice right now they're not running much gym ads. But then going into the holiday season, you start seeing a bunch of gym ads show up, and then you can't escape the gym ads for January, and that is their hot season, and they're just doubling down on it.
We're not running ads for gyms, but if I were, I would say, don't pay till January 1st, but you can have access to the gym for now for free.
Yeah, exactly. And my local Y does that a lot.
Oh, okay. Well,
They
I thought
do
that
like
was
a
unique, but
they,
it's
like
not.
don't pay till 2026.
I mean, come on in.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right, let's keep going.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so February, you got peak flu and strep. Like we even identified actually on our questions earlier. So February is a big time for that. Make sure you're pushing those ads. And this is actually where you would adjust. If you have a set budget in your paid ads, start adjusting that budget over to this. Like I can't spend more than 2,000 a month. Well, cool. We're going to reallocate. We love reallocating toward campaigns that make the most sense. That's just that we love doing that.
Right.
And it makes a big difference. And then you talk about like when should you come in type content. Like, do you feel like this? Do you have this type of fever? This da da da. Like this is good content out there. It's that reminder because we don't know because I'm not sick all the time, so I don't know when it's worth coming in and when it's not worth coming in. And then if you have like, hey, we know you're not feeling well, we're going to make it a little bit easier on your wallet as well, not just your health. You know, running those type of promos is always helpful. Then finally, you're into March, and that's where your allergies come in, the early, all the other stuff, and then you're starting to touch a little bit about the physical side of things. Sports physicals may be coming back into play, but allergies are real. Talking about is this a flu or is it just spring fever or is this some type of allergy that I just don't know what to deal with? And then just talking about that and just sending out that message like, have you been sneezing a lot more? We can help with that. So that's kind of the breakdown. We'll give you this information, but like this is the breakdown. If you needed a guide on how to do outreach on a regular basis, this is a good place to start for sure.
So the whole theme of this the whole time is simply to put the right message in front of the right person at the right time in the right way. That's been the biggest theme of going into these surge months.
Yep. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But
yeah, just so we're at toward the end of this webinar right now, but just kind of that reminder that seasonal campaigns matter. Don't back off your spending dollars because you're busy. You know, you push into, and then you gotta be intentional about everything that you're doing. Because that community outreach and that trust matter, but you have to be intentional about getting to that trust. And then when you can utilize automations, because your staff is going to be having burnout. And anytime you can automate some stuff and kind of keep things moving in the right direction, like it's going to be helpful to them too. So, but all right, guys, just as promised, as we always do, we have our resources right here. You can scan that link right now and you'll get access to those things. Also put it into the chat from Hannah just now. So you'll see some resources out there. We love to help you guys. We also love to hear from you. So if you ever have any questions or comments or, hey, could y'all expand on this, especially on like our podcast, just hit it up at hello@patientcaremarketpros.com and we'll be happy to look at that and chat with you as well.
last thing I'll add here is in that link tree, there is a way to schedule a discovery call with us. Now, what we want to do on the discovery call is just learn about your clinic and where there may be some gaps in their marketing and how we can either point you in the right direction or be the right direction for you.
Yeah.
What you'll find with Grace is she's very high energy, but very low pressure.
Yeah.
Right. So she's going to give you a lot of good information. She'll pull me in or Michael in as well, just to have conversations with you if you need it, if she feels like it warrants more strategy.
Yep.
So I want you to not be afraid to book a discovery call thinking it's just pure sales. It's not at all.
Half the time we do an audit for you, and
Yeah,
then we never hear from you again.
yeah, and we're okay with that. We want to give you good information. Our goal is to serve this community and serve you well. And I just want to make a note. We think the things that you're doing in your community is making a huge impact. I think it's important what you do, and what you're doing matters.
Absolutely.
Yep. Cool. If there's no questions, then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But go ahead and drop a question in the chat if you have any. Um,
We'll give it just a minute.
while they're thinking about that,
Yep.
what is your favorite part of the holiday season?
Um, I do like going down to the beach
Okay.
during Thanksgiving.
Right.
That's a lot of fun. It's always a little hectic going down, but just the idea of just having that Thanksgiving dinner. And then I love now, I have a 6-year old, so I get to see like her reactions to Christmas morning and all
Right.
that stuff. That's a lot of fun to me. I don't like getting gifts. I like giving gifts.
Yeah.
So that's right.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Year's Day. Typically everybody's tired of everybody.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day, nobody's at work. And I will sit there. I've already pre-planned, like spent some time thinking through it. But I sit down and I go through multiple areas of my life. Like, and I've got a strategy.
Yeah.
I give it to the team. I don't think anybody uses it, but I'll go through each of the 9 areas in my life, and I'll just kind of rate it how I did and where I wanted to go, and just kind of do some goal setting. And I really enjoy that. And it's typically just me. So.
Yeah. Good time.
Well, I don't see any questions coming in, so I just want to thank you for being on the webinar today. We have some great webinars coming up. I know this one may have come across a little quick, or a lot of reading, or a lot of things you already know. But I'm telling you, the things that we have coming up are going to be very, very good for you. So we will see you on the next webinar. And thank you so much. Go find us on Walk In